All right. Hello, everyone. This is L. Jermaine Russell. I'm here going over another week of the stock market. What I did this past week, some of the things that I felt like was really good, some of the stuff I thought was really, really bad. I really don't know where to put my put my screen, but yeah. So I do want to go over a couple of things. It was a pretty, I guess, mixed week for me last week. Looking to go pretty well this upcoming week. I have some nice setups that I think that would work pretty well. But I guess the very first one I want to go into, because I've held it for a week, essentially is SECO. I wish I got it a little bit earlier, but this is one that I was holding since last week, Tuesday, on the 16th. Was it no 16th? I'm sorry. That I was holding this one on the 12th. Actually, I bought it on the 12th at 10.99, and then I end up selling it going into Friday. I actually could have sold it for a little bit higher, but once I saw that it was starting to come back down, I sold it in the 12.30s. But I'll just kind of go over what I noticed on the day itself. It's been uptrending pretty strongly for at least 2 weeks. So what I was seeing was that it was holding support right here at this $11 area, and Thursday going into Friday, it was starting to find some traction, and it did what it normally would do, which is spike to resistance, which it did. Resistance was at 12.50, which was my original sell order. I wanted to see this get to 12.50. It got to 12.50. I didn't sell at 12.50. Once I saw that it can, get up to 12.70, I was thinking that once it got back to 12.60, that it would try testing 12.70 again, then probably even go to, 12.80 and higher. It didn't. It started to fail, and it came back down. But if we can take a close look, that it was pretty much just trending with the 100-day moving average exponential and the VWAP. So it wasn't really going as strong as I hoped, but because it was trading above the 100-day moving average the day before, I guess it kind of influenced it going into Friday. But at the same time, I wasn't sure if I really wanted to hold on to it too long, just because it was up for so many days. Look, from beginning of July up until what was this, the 18th. Like, this is 15 days that is going up, and it finally hit a red day on the 15th day, and then now it's just kind of trading sideways. So I want to see where it goes from here. I want to know if it pulls back a little bit before going back up. So I'm keeping it on my watch list. It looked like that it's just a little overbought, but it's coming back right now, and the momentum is still green. So those are some good indicators right now, just to see what it does, going into the upcoming week. But I did have let me see, I did have a couple plays that I got in. There it is, VTL. I did get into VTL thinking that it was going to spike in my favor, and which it did on the 17th. Actually, I bought it on the 16th. On the 16th is where I bought it. I bought it on this first green day, and I tried holding it, and I wasn't sure. Once it got up to this third day, I wasn't sure if it was going to really hold. I held it up until the 18th, and I sold it. I just took a 20-cent loss on it because I really didn't think it was going to do much of anything else. I bought in at 8.05, and I was on the right track. That's the one thing I could take from this, is that I was on the right track. I bought it at 8.05 when it pulled back. Let's go to the chart, because right now it looked like it can actually go a little bit higher. But if we go back to that day, when I initially bought, I bought probably somewhere around, not even there, probably somewhere around over here. I bought as it was starting to come down. And then it did trade sideways for 2 days, and that's frustrating in itself. Um, and then the day that it did start to actually move, it you know, I think I was already out by this point. I was already out by the 18th. Yeah, by the 18th I was out because I was just like, it's not doing anything, it's not doing what I want, and which it didn't. But the very next day, it started to do everything. So I ended up selling at 785, and I got out. But eventually it did start to uptrend a little bit more. So it just came to the resistance as I thought, as I figured what the resistance would be, and it came back down, but it was holding above that 805 area, which is where I bought. I bought pretty much at the resistance, thinking it was going to break out even more. Well, when I bought it back, what was it today? This is the 16th. Yeah, I bought it back over here, thinking that it was going to break out even more, but it didn't. And I gave it 2 days, and it didn't do what I thought it was going to do. And now on Friday, it made a high, and it's trading there as high, or at least 10 cents off its high. So I'm watching this just to see like how it goes. I do see that it's trading right at the resistance, which is pretty good. I just don't know if it's going to get slammed back down. Like there's a little bit of 30-cent overhang that it could, or 35 cent, 30, 35, 40 cent overhang from the resistance that it's at right now. So with the right type of volume and movement, it could probably go a little bit higher, but it does trade at a range of that 5 cent spread. I'm not a big fan of that either, but the chart looked really good, so I thought it was gonna go a little bit higher. I thought this was gonna happen this next day, but it didn't. So so I cut my loss. Just took a 20-cent share, but it was 20-cent share loss. But it's just good at the same time to see that I knew that I was on the right track, even though I took the loss. I also bought NXTD. NXTD, I'm not one to really care to know what the company really does. I just want to make sure that it hits all my technical indicators. Once it hits all my technical indicators, then I'll know if it's going to do well or not. And right now, the main reason why I end up selling NXTD is because I bought it on this day at 181, thinking that it was going to close above this 100-day moving average. So I was risking it, thinking that, hey, maybe with enough volume, it will close over the 100-day moving average and do kind of like what SECO did, where once it closed over the 100-day moving average, it just continued to move upward. And that's something that I really do like a lot, that it has that potential. When you're able to identify that the 100-day moving average actually does mean something in trading, well, the exponential 100-day moving average means something, and it can help propel the stock to go a little bit higher. These are things that you start taking into consideration when you're looking at each and individual trade. So I really like that. I have this as an indicator to help out, along with the MACD and the RSI. But as we see here, it kind of like peaked over it, maybe at one. I think the highest it got was pre-market, like 195 or something like that. Yeah, there goes 187. Yeah, 195. So I was already in. When did I buy you? I bought you on the 19th. I bought you on the 18th. Sorry. So I bought into the close on the 18th, and then I end up selling it. Yeah, I sold it because it continued downtrending it continued to look like it was downtrending when I was actually on my phone. And that's another thing, like, because I might hold a trade overnight and I might have a meeting, and if I see that it is not doing what I want and it's not, I just get rid of it. especially if I'm looking on my phone. I really hate trading from my phone, but that's what I use to monitor, stock movements. Not to really make a trade, but to monitor it. And if I feel like it's not doing what I want, I get out. That's exactly what I did. I got out, and it's still trading around where I sold it. I got out at 179, in from 181. Really didn't make any money off of this, obviously, but I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to dip down to this like 170, 170, maybe 160 area. I don't want any of that. So right now, it doesn't look like it's going to cross over the 100-day moving average, but it might trade near it. So I'm going to keep my eye on it because the momentum is starting to turn green again. So we'll see. Maybe with some good news or something, it might go a little bit higher. But that was another trade that, I didn't do well on, but I cut my losses. And I think I had, yes, GLMD. So GLMD, this was on Friday. I am now starting to realize that in the market that even though that there might be an analyst upgrade or increase in target price, not all the time does that mean that it's going to be bullish sentiment on that day. Even though the news might be bullish, people sold on the news and the price stock end up coming down. I've seen this happen. This is at least my third stock where I've seen analyst upgrade and price target being sent out, but the stock price doesn't go higher. So this one, as we can see, it looks pretty. I can't really call it right now, as particularly. It looks like that it has potential to go and trend a little bit higher, and I probably should get rid of some of these. Let's remove some of you because there are a lot. Now I want you in there. Let's remove that trend line. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit cleaner. Let's remove you. All right, so essentially, I probably did put in some trend lines during the actual trading day just so I can know where my risk tolerance was going to be. But at the same time, GLMD came out with all this news. I have been watching it for a little while because I know it's like a recent IPO or something. No, this is not. Yeah, this is a recent IPO. Well, not recent, but it's been around for like 2.5 years. So I wouldn't say it's extremely recent, but it's close enough to know that a spike has happened, and because of spikes that happen, I want to be near it, and it definitely traded on the day. It spiked to 1624. And I really thought it was going to go a little bit higher. I ended up buying like probably right around here after it dipped. And I remember sitting in the Starbucks trying to get my order together when it was starting to consolidate here in the 1540s. And I did think it was going to continue to break out, but I believe that I had poor usage of my MACD. See, the MACD, it definitely lets you know, if the momentum is still going in your direction, the RSI if it's still going in your direction, and I did not utilize it to my advantage, where the RSI was already approaching overbought. So it's not surprising that once it hits overbuy that it's not hitting the overbuy wall, I should say. So it's not surprising that it didn't continue to go and the price got smacked down back. So because of those things, I'm not really clearly identifying that the resistance at 1590 might mean something. So I probably should not get in. I probably could have just waited for the breakout. But I didn't, and I got impatient, and my impatience showed. I ended up selling it at 1565, I believe. Yeah, so 20 cents a share. Not really risking a whole lot, and especially if I feel like I am at a disadvantage on the stock, because now when it's time to really read the MACD, I'm really understanding and seeing that, hey, this is something I probably should not get out of. And even using the level two, sometimes some people say that the level twos are highly manipulated, which is probably the case, but at the same time, they can be very useful. So why not use them? And I know I use the level two to ensure that everything that I have envisioned is lined up. Um, so those are my three losses: GLMD, NXTD, and VTL. Even though that I did not earn as much as I anticipated, I took losses on each three of them. I was still able to find a lesson in it all. Not all of our trades are, SECO, but this was a good run. It was a good run for what, dollar 30 a share. I wish I got $2 out of it or something, but hey, it's okay. I was still able to rake in and not and really trade worry free. So I'm anticipating the same type of movement with hair, because the HEAR, even though they are up and they're once again going, they're once again starting to head into overbought, but it's up. Earnings is coming up soon, so they're going to have some decent momentum or movement going further. And also with VKTX. I think VKTX will also, because it's selling off right now, and with the selling pressure, it might trade sideways tomorrow. But when the selling pressure is starting to lose its ground, that's when we know that it's going to start entering the bullish sentiment. So I'm anticipating a move around $11. And probably trading around there. I wouldn't be surprised if it just gets 40 cents a share. If it closes 40 cents up on the day, that would be nicer as well. I know I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell VKTX, nor do I want to sell HEAR, just because of what potential that it might have. And like I said, here is a little overbought right now. And if it can overbought to this type of sentiment, I would really love that. And I said, there are other stocks that I'm holding right now. I think Roku is one of them. I'm not going to get into Roku because, as you can tell right here by Netflix, it's down, and I definitely use Netflix as my indicator. And Roku is following the trend of Netflix. So I don't really see Roku going anywhere right now because of Netflix. But I'm in. I want to get out, but I'm trying to give it some time to move, and it's I'm trying to be patient with it because I see so many other plays that are available for tomorrow, Monday, like NBEV, this beverage company. It closed over the 100-day moving average, so I'm anticipating that it might go a little bit higher. But I'm looking at its past behavior. The past behavior, last time it closed above the 100-day moving average, is sold off the very next day. So, as someone said on Twitter, hey, they have a clean balance sheet or what have you. But I am also looking at its past performance. Even back here, after it had a spike, it pretty much returned its gains. So I don't know. I don't have too much faith into this company based off its past trading behavior. But I would like to see what it does. I do have a little bit more faith in LBIX. I just like the way that the chart looks. I feel like it has the potential of breaking out. And if it does break out above 183, it'll probably come up to 205, maybe even 228, depending on volume. But I do believe that it will have a pullback because every time that it does spike, it does have a pullback. There's a couple of things that to me is moving in its favor. Obviously, one is that it's an extremely low float at 2 million, maybe just a little bit under 3 million. It's trading above the exponential 100-day moving average. It's in breakout territory. The bullish sentiment on the MACD is positive. It had its first, eventually first buying opportunity after leaving a selling day and after leaving a momentumous, yeah, something like that. Momentum of buying before entering into any selling pressure. Came back to buying pressure. So and it's not overbought. So these are things that I'm taking into consideration with this one, that it could possibly actually end up spiking, just off of momentum. So these are the stocks that I'm going to be watching on Monday. I hope, Monday and hopefully during the week. Hopefully that everyone was able to trade nicely, and I want to get a little bit more stocks in, because I'm starting to see that there might be some movement when it comes to the food stocks this upcoming week. Stuff with like Loco. I'm really liking. I'm really liking where it might be, just because it's at a breakout. It's at a breakout potential, and so I don't believe it's going to really break out. I think it's just going to trade sideways one more day, maybe a couple more days, but I definitely want to see what it does. And I want to know how it's all going to react off of Chipotle. Chipotle apparently is. I think they're coming out with. No, they came out with earnings already, I believe. Hold on, let's look at this real quick. Oh yeah, so they're coming out with earnings on the 26th. It's Dunkin' Donuts that will be coming out with earnings as well, because I like them too, but they're overbought. I like Sonic. Sonic looks really good. It's overbought now, but with the dividend that they might be giving out, well, not might be that they are giving out, and some some price targets that have been raised because of the momentum that they've been receiving. It's starting to end in the selling pressure. It's going to be trading sideways, where it's going to be overbought and not overbought for a couple of days. But up until it actually releases its earnings, I think this is on Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, that it will actually, it will do really well. So I'm keeping my eye on Sonic. I'm keeping my eye on Loco Pollo, or Pollo Loco. I love it. And Dunkin' Donuts, just because I think these food industry stocks, not only do they have some potential, some of them are a little bit lower in float, and not the PFG Performance Food Group. I don't know much about this company, but I do know that they too have breakout potential, right above this 38. They're right at the line. So we'll see if it does start to break out, but this is something else that I'm liking. So I'm liking what the food industry is doing, and seeing if it actually does move off the movement of Chipotle. So there you have it. That's what I'm looking at during the week. It's only really I'm holding VKTX, HEAR, VSTM, and Roku, ROKU. So these are what I'm watching, what I'm holding, and you can see my watch list. Essentially, these are things that I don't know about Spotify as much, but these are some of the stocks that I do tend to keep on my chart. I think CRC might actually leave my chart. Well, let's see. Let's see if the selling pressure is over, if it's coming to an end. But yeah, these are the ones. I might refine the list just a little bit, but these are the ones that I'm watching tomorrow as the trading day resumes. So happy trading going into Monday, and cut your losses quickly, and your gains will always be bigger than your losses. All right, that is for sure. Be patient and let the trade come to you. So with that being said, I need to get ready for Monday. I need to wake up. I think everyone needs their rest. So I probably should do the same. Thank you for listening, and I plan on putting more content up. So if you really like this, continue following, continue subscribing. I will try to put up as much information as I can on the things that I know, and on the technical side, I don't know financials. I know how to read a balance sheet. I know how to read I understand how to read cash flow and all that. But I really focus on supply and demand, how people are buying and selling shares. I think that's where everything really goes. If I really want to get it down to the absolute number, I will reference the financial statements. But this is not an exact science. I'm not going to know if a stock is going to bounce off of $7.50 versus $7.62. I just know where I need to be and be in comfortably so I can ride the momentum up. Yep. I think I've said enough. Thank you for listening. Happy trading on Monday. And if you're just learning, hopefully the things that I teach or that I'm sharing with you is very helpful. All right. Bye. Have a good night. Greater tomorrow.